Hi, my name is Sandeep Dhar, and today I'll take you to an end-to-end machine learning pipeline project tour for heart failure prediction. Here, our goal is not only making heart failure prediction of patients, but productionizing the entire machine learning pipeline, then creating web API with simple front-end UI, creating Docker image of the entire application, then deploying the containerized application onto Google Kubernetes engine on Google Cloud Platform, that is GCP, and then exposing it to internet, then seeing the machine learning app in action from browser, and finally using its service, that is making our prediction. So here our goal is to predict the death of a patient due to heart failure based on 12 important clinical features. Those 12 important clinical features I will explain to you shortly. So I will first start with the problem definition and dataset. So let's get started. Okay. So this project is based on heart failure prediction dataset which I downloaded from Kaggle. Here we are predicting the death event or chance of death of a patient due to heart failure based on 12 clinical features. So these 12 clinical features are: number one, age, the age of the person. Then if the patient has anemia, that is decrease of red blood cells or hemoglobin. Then creatinine phosphokinase, that is level of CPK enzyme in the blood. Then diabetes, that means whether a person has diabetes or not. Ejection fraction, that is the percentage of blood leaving the heart at each contraction. Then whether the person has high blood pressure or not. Then platelet count. Then serum creatinine level, that is the level of serum creatinine in the blood. Serum sodium, level of serum sodium in the blood. Then sex, whether the person is male or female. Then whether the person does smoke or whether this person has smoking history. And then finally time, like how long this person is suffering from this. This is a classification problem. So we are just classifying whether a person will die due to heart failure or not. And this is a complete machine learning end-to-end pipeline project where our goal is not only making heart failure prediction with good accuracy, but also productionizing the entire machine learning pipeline and creating web API with some simple front-end UI, and then creating Docker image of the entire application with all the files and dependencies, etc. Then deploying the containerized ML application onto Google Kubernetes engine, GKE, in GCP, which is Google Cloud Platform. Then exposing it to internet, and finally running the ML app from different browsers and machines, that is seeing the app in action from browser, and also finally using its service, that is making our predictions successfully. So now I'll switch to Jupyter Notebook and I'll show you step by step what has been done. This is our research environment. Right now I am in Jupyter Notebook. So first we are importing all the required libraries, NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, C1, etc. Then we are reading the CSV file, original CSV file. And as you can see, basically there are 12 features up to time, independent, that is independent variables, and our death event is our dependent variable, or what we are going to predict death event. And there are 300 observations, 299, actually 299 observations are there. That means we have a data of 299 patients. And then we are plotting the histogram of each and every variable to see the distribution. And then we are also, through exploratory data analysis, we are checking the correlations between the variables. So correlation between the variables, as you can see here in this plot. And if we look at it closely, we'll find that no two variables are highly correlated. So if the two variables are highly correlated, that means we can skip one of the variables and include other. But here, since no two variables are highly correlated, so all are important to us for our predictions. So we are keeping all the features or independent variables. Then we are checking if data contains any missing value or not. So no missing value, everything is there. Then we are basically splitting the data set using test split, as you can see. Between train and test, we are splitting. So 30% will go to test and 70% will go to the training data set. And then we are saving both train data set and test data set separately in CSV format. In two different CSV file, heart failure train dataset.csv and also heart failure test dataset.csv. Two different CSV file we are saving the training dataset and test or evaluation dataset. So from our histogram plots of various variables where we plotted the distributions, so we found that there are two independent variables, creatinine, phosphokinase and serum creatinine, where the distribution is quite skewed. So we have to normalize the skewed data for these two variables. So the standard practice is to go for the log transformation, logarithmic transformations. For normalizing the skewed data, we are doing it here. And then here we are doing the feature scaling. The entire data we are scaling, which is required for applying machine learning model. Then we are building machine learning model. First we are trying with the random forest and we got around 76% accuracy for the test set. Test set is basically unknown data, test set or evaluation sets. So 76% accuracy, which is decent, not that good. Then we tried several other models, SBM, logistic regression and several other, but random forest was the best one. We even tried the XGBoost classifier. So we found that the random forest was the best one, but still we got around 76% accuracy on the test set, which is decent but not that good. Then what we did, we just plotted this death event. As you can see, there are two classes, 0, 1, binary. 1 means this person is likely to die due to heart failure, and 0 means this person is unlikely to die due to heart failure. So as you can see that there is data set is quite imbalanced among the classes 0 and 1. So data set is imbalanced, so that is why we are not getting good accuracy or results. So we have to fix it. Since data set is imbalanced, we have to fix it. So we have fixed this imbalanced data set using resampling technique. So we basically use hybrid resampling, that combination of oversampling and undersampling of the only training data set. So before applying this resampling technique, as you can see, if we look at the count, the number of observations for the 0 class, that is the class for which a person is unlikely to die, that's 0. Death event for death event 1, another class, number of observation 59. So it is quite imbalanced, as you can see, 150 and 59. So after applying this resampling technique, we see that for the class 0, number of observation 150, class 1, number of observation 120. So it is fairly balanced now. Then we again applied random forest classifier and we achieved 81%, 81.1% accuracy. And even if we looked at the other performance matrices, such as classification report, they are also pretty good. And also ROC AUC score for the test data set. We also confirmed that training of the training data set also accuracy was pretty good. It was 92.96%. And we also looked at the other performance matrices for the training data set. So this was our best model, random forest, and we decided to go ahead with this one. Though we tried the other models, but random forest was the best one for us. So this is our research environment, and now our goal is to productionize this entire process, that is automating the entire machine learning pipeline. So for that we need to write production level code. So that we are doing in Spider IDE. So we are separating it to different Python program files. First one is config.py. So here, as you can see, we are defining various variables such as training data file name, test data file, CSV file name, and then name for saving the pipeline for data pre-processing as well as model pipeline. So this is a pipeline name with which we will be saving the model later. Then target, our target is to predict the death event. So this is a target variable, the death event. And then all the input variables, that is features, age, anemia, creatinine, phosphokinase, diabetes, ejection fraction, high blood pressure, platelet count, serum creatinine, serum sodium, then sex, whether the person is male or female, smoking, time, etc. All these things are defined here. Then the numerical log variables, like variables that will be transforming to log variables to log transform. So which I have already explained. So second file is for data pre-processing. So here only thing we are doing, that's the where there's log transforming those two variables. That's it. And we don't have much to do in the data pre-processing or feature engineering. Then we are going to the pipeline creation. So here we are creating the pipeline for the data pre-processing steps. Also we are creating pipeline for the machine learning model. So we are using scikit-learn pipeline. So pipeline, what it does, basically it will do everything sequentially one after another. For example, here in this data pre-processing pipeline, it was doing log transformation. After that, it is doing the scaling of the data. Similarly, here this is a separate pipeline for the model. Here, basically, random forest classification. This model we are putting here. Sorry. So next thing is the training. This machine learning model with this data set. And so for that we are writing one function, run training. And so here, as you can see, basically it is reading the CSV file for the training data, also the CSV file, the test data, and then it is using all those features and targets from the config file. Those things are defined in the config. Then using the pipeline, it is fitting the training data extra and bytend for the data pre-processing. So this will basically transform it will do the log transformation of those two variables as well as it will do the feature scaling of the data. Then we are saving this pipeline for data preprocessing using joblib.dump. After that, we need to do this resampling apply. As you know, the original data was quite imbalanced. So using hybrid resampling, that is combination of oversampling and undersampling. So use mode for oversampling and random undersampler for undersampling. So with this combination, we could achieve good balanced data. And then, so after resampling the training data, we are printing the count of the observations for both the classes. And then we are applying the basically this training data extend item. We are training the model using this data training data. So as you can see, the pipeline we are using pipeline.heart_failure pipe2. And then we are saving this pipeline of the model pipeline using joblib.dump. And then we are also predicting the target values for the training set just for checking. And then we are printing the accuracy of the training set, etc. So here in this file, predict.py basically, so we are basically predicting the death event on some unknown data set, like test data set or evaluation data set. We are doing it here. And we are printing the same accuracy for the test data set and then other accuracy or performance matrices, whatever we are printing them. So here also we are basically writing one function for making prediction. And as you can see, we are using already saved pipeline. And using joblib, we are loading those saved pipelines for both data preprocessing as well as model. And then we are we are applying this first pipeline for data preprocessing on this input data. And then after getting the input data, then we are applying this second saved pipeline, which is for the model. We're applying it for making predictions. And so that's all. And I'll show you if we execute this train script, train pipeline.py program. As you can see that before resampling of training data, which I have already shown. So after resampling, it is 150 and 120, fairly balanced between classes, class 0 and 1. And accuracy of the training set is around 94%. And then when we are running this predict.py for making predictions on some unknown data, so here also we are getting pretty good accuracy, 82%, and also other performance or accuracy metrics are also pretty good. So next thing is basically serving this model as a Flaskr or Swagger application. So for that we are using Flask web framework in Python, web development framework in Python, Flask, and also we are using Flaskr library. And we are importing Swagger from Flaskr. Using Flask, we are creating the web API for this machine learning application, and also using Swagger, we are creating some front-end UI to make it look good for this machine learning application. So here, basically, we are using post HTTP method, and we are uploading some CSV file of some unknown data of single patient unknown data, or maybe multiple patients unknown data. We are uploading it, and then it is reading this CSV file, and then there is a function make prediction. Using that, it is making predictions for this unknown data, patient data, making it is predicting whether the person is likely to die or not due to heart failure, and prediction of death it is returning, as you can see. So when I will be giving demonstration, when we will be running that web app, web applications on some browser, then I'll show you. So after this, the next thing is creating some Docker image of the entire application. And we first locally created the Docker image of this entire machine learning application with all the files, program files and other files and its dependencies. So I already have a Docker desktop installed on my machine. Locally I created Docker image of this application, and locally I tested also. Thoroughly tested, and that web application was of this machine learning model was working fine. I locally tested. Then we decided to deploy it onto Google Kubernetes engine. And so Docker is basically software that allows you to containerize the application, where Kubernetes is a container management system that allows us to create, scale, monitor hundreds or thousands of containers. So for that, I already have my Google Cloud Platform account. It's a free account already, and so all the steps we can perform here on the Google Cloud Shell here. And also there is an option to install Google Cloud SDK locally on our machine, and then we can use this Google Cloud Shell. Like this, Google Cloud Shell. Here also we can execute those commands. So first thing is create a new project in GCP Google Cloud Platform Console. So here, and then sign into GCP console and go to the manage resources. Then click on create new project. So all these steps we have to follow. Then import project code. Then we have to activate the Cloud Shell button. So once we activate, you will see something like this. So here you can execute those commands. Next, go to your project working directory where all files are present along with the Docker file. So there is one Docker file that is very important, that should be there in the working directory. And in the Docker file, basically series of commands are there, all this. So it will perform one by one. And then set your project ID, environment variable, export project ID. Then you build the Docker image. So build the Docker image of the application and tag it for uploading by executing this code. That is Docker build -t GCR. For this GCR stands for Google Cloud Registry. .io/ this project ID we have to give, then / the name of the app, heart failure prediction app in my case, :v1, and then you have to put dot at the end. Then we can check the available images, Docker images, by running this code, whether image has been created, Docker image has been created or not. And then we have to authenticate to container registry, Google Container Registry. So gcloud authenticate configure Docker. Then execute this code to upload the Docker image to Google Container Registry. Next step is to push it to the Google Container Registry, Docker push gcr.io/ as you can see. So next step is creating the cluster, because our aim is to create a cluster on the Google Cloud Platform to run the container. And Kubernetes will help with the container management. And a cluster consists of a pool of compute engine VM instances running Kubernetes. So here also we have to set the project ID, and then also we have to set the zone also, compute zone. In my case, Asia-East 1-A. Then create a cluster by executing the following code. Then we have to create the cluster by executing the following code. Here you have to give some suitable name, like in my case, heart failure -cluster. The number of nodes we are using as 2. Then we have to deploy the application using this command qbctl create deploy and heart failure prediction app. Once it is deployed, then we have to expose the application to the internet. So kubectl expose, and we have to expose. We have to specify the port number, etc., and expose it to the internet. Then we have to check the service on the this Google Cloud Shell here. And as you can see, if we check the service, it is this heart failure prediction app. As you can see, the external IP address is given here, and it is up and running. So we have to make sure it is up and running, and we can get the external IP address. Then finally, we'll see the app in the action. In this HTTP colon this external IP address / API docs. And then finally I am here. As you can see, it is showing a Swagger API, and post method we are using predict. So let's predict the chance of death due to heart failure. So once you click on that, and then you have to click on try it out, then it will be active, and then you have to choose the file. So I will be selecting single patient data. Single patient data I have chosen, it is CSV file, and then I have to click on execute. And so once you click on execute, here go to the response body here, and then you can see it is predicting nicely the death of the person, death event of that person, of that patient, based on this clinical features data that I uploaded through the CSV file. So it is prediction of death is 0, that means this person is unlikely to die. So in case if we find the prediction of death is 1, so that means that patient needs immediate medical attention in order to prevent death or delay the death, something like that. So as you can see how much useful it is for the medical or healthcare, this machine learning model. And remember that this data set is very small, only having 300 observations, 299 observations, and then that too we have separated into 10 set and test set. But if you want to build a better model, definitely you have to have more data. So if we have like something like 10,000, 20,000 or more patient data, then definitely we can make a better model which will predict the death event with better accuracy or reliability. But this is just to demonstrate you from the problem definition to the end, like running the machine learning app on the browsers and using the service. So it is running on the GKE, Google Kubernetes Engine. We have deployed it onto GKE. So we have deployed this containerized ML application onto Google Kubernetes Engine, GKE in GCP. So it is running from the Google Cloud, and I have made it public already. So I tested it from the other machines and other browsers. It is running very fine. So now I will choose here one more file for another patient. This one. This is the data for another patient. And let's execute it and let's see what the prediction is. So prediction of death is 1. That means this person is likely to die due to heart failure, or there's a high chance of death for this patient. So he needs immediate medical attention. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you like the content and the video and the entire demo, please give like. And thank you very much. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.